My name is Winnie Nguyen. I work at Allstate Insurance Company in the legal department here. My area of practice is employment law. I typically advise the company on various employment law related issues. I grew up here in Chicago. I was in town for college. I went to Loyola for law school. I also worked in Chicago for several years before I went to law school, so I've been here for quite a while. One of the things I do like about my job being in employment law, it's very varied. On a typical day, I look at and I approve sometimes communications. I work with some folks regarding compliance with certain laws and regulations. I may advise on wage and hour pay issues, or it could be an ADA accommodation issue. It just ranges the gamut.
Allstate has really shown an extraordinary commitment to victims of domestic violence. We started working with Allstate's legal department about a year ago on VESA work, and Winnie has really spearheaded Allstate's VESA work. Winnie has done many VESA trainings. She has trained other lawyers at Allstate. She's also represented a VESA claimant in the Illinois Department of Labor. It can be kind of trying to represent these folks. Winnie took all that in stride and just really did a great job for her client.
I did have the opportunity to represent a very brave and courageous woman who was abused by her husband. She had some troubles at work. She had some issues with transportation because she moved out of her home. She was living at a shelter. She was located a lot further from work than she used to be. She had requested leave to be able to move into the shelter with her children. So there was a couple of different things that happened where she was entitled to certain rights, but the employer did not grant her those rights. Instead, eventually they ended up terminating her. She filed a complaint with the Illinois Department of Labor. We were able to get involved at that point in time, and before the case reached hearing, we were able to reach a settlement and obtain a sum of money for our client. She wrote a very nice letter indicating how thankful she was, that she could live her life with dignity and respect. It's hard to see victims in their circumstance. I can see how just even the amount that we got could really make a difference in her life.
Winnie came along and fought really hard for this client and got a very fair recovery for her, which in turn allowed the client to leave her abusive husband. She's quiet but mighty. She's very strong. She doesn't give in. She's extremely professional. She's really been a champion for VESA claimants. I think for her, pro bono is not an obligation. It's one of her highest priorities.
I've always liked opportunities to work with people directly and represent clients. It really allows you to impact someone's life directly, someone who actually needs legal help. I think it makes you a better attorney all around to be able to do work in an area that you don't typically do, to interact with clients that may not be like your other clients. So I think it's a learning experience, and there's a lot to be benefited from that from a professional and personal standpoint.